Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Red Cape Sports. I'm your host, Bird Bouchard, and today I'm going to be going over my top 3 different methods for identifying sports cards to invest in.
This episode's brought to you by Red Cape Films.
Welcome, everyone, to today's episode. As usual, before I jump right into it, I just want to kindly remind everyone to please smash the like button. It really does help us with YouTube's algorithm. And of course, check out Frank's Facebook page, check out our Facebook page, even our Instagram, which is slowly but surely starting to take off. Now that I got all that good stuff out of the way, let's jump into some even better stuff. I get this question quite often. How do I identify players to buy? Because at the end of the day, there's always good buys and there's bad buys, and then there's a good time to get in and a bad time to get in, the whole 9 yards. So today, I got my trusty dandy Microsoft Surface here, and I'm just going to be going over, very briefly at least, what I do to identify key players. Really just the 3 different things I do on a consistent basis. And again, you can apply this to basically any sport. You can apply this to NFL, NBA, really any sport that you want, NHL as well. And it's basically the same process across the entire sports. But for now, just because it's baseball season, and I do miss baseball, and honestly, this strategy personally does work best for baseball. But anyway, we're going to jump right into it. Alrighty, guys, so now I'm just going to jump into the video here. So, as you can see, I do have 3 tabs open here. 2 of them are MLB.com, and then the last one is Twitter. So these are all tools which are free to you all, so I highly suggest using them. First and foremost is going to be MLB.com/stats. So as you can see here, quite simply put, the first thing I do is I look through baseball players' stats. And of course, this doesn't just apply to Major League Baseball. This applies to NHL, NFL, NBA, everything. But of course, in every sport, there's going to be main stats that you want to be aware of. So in baseball, I'll highlight them here. Baseball, you're going to want to look at average, and you can see that here because last year, there's only just a handful of guys who batted 300 or better, 19 guys. So in the entire MLB, 19 guys. The second stat is going to be RBIs. That stands for runs batted in, and home runs. So as that loads up. And actually one last one is going to be hits. So hits is quite important as well. So that's for baseball. For hockey, primarily, you're going to want to look at goals and assists, and then, of course, goals plus assist equals points. So that's what you're going to want to look at. For NBA, you're going to want to look at points per game. Typically speaking, anything 20 and above, pretty good. Guys who are starting to near 30, those are going to be your superstars. And then assist, you're going to want to look at 10 or more, or at least around that number, and then rebounds, basically the same thing, 10 or more. Those are kind of the numbers that you're going to want to look at, but mainly for basketball, points per game. And then NFL. NFL for a quarterback, you're going to want to look at touchdowns, being touchdowns thrown. You're going to want to look at passing yards. For running backs, not really you're going to want to look at touchdowns. Of course, that does help, but primarily you're going to want to look at total rushing yards and rushing yards per game. And again, you can find all those things at said websites, NBA.com, NFL.com, NHL.com. So now that we know the important stats, let's apply that. And then for this example, Major League Baseball. So you can see here that I filtered to hits. Probably the best one to filter to at the beginning is going to be average. So we can see here all the players, and again for baseball, primarily look at 300 and above is the goal. But again, if someone bats like 260, but they get a lot of home runs and a lot of RBIs, you kind of A good example of that is Giancarlo Stanton. So you kind of look the other way for that. So as we can see here, I noticed that when I kept changing all these, that one player kept coming up. So as you can see here, now I'm highlighted over hits, and I noticed Rafael Devers keeps coming up. So he had 201 hits, second most in the league, 32 home runs, which of course seems to be pretty high, and 115 RBIs, and basing on all that, yeah, that's pretty good. And he batted .311. Okay, so let's see if he's a good buy. So I clicked on his name, and I noticed here, Rafael Devers, he's 23 years old. And we'll keep scrolling down, so these are going to be his career stats. Okay, so we noticed his first year, well, he only played 58 games, but he had 63 hits. That's really good. And, okay, only 108 hits. He only batted .240. But he had 21 home runs and 66 RBIs in about a year and a half. Not too shabby. And last year in 2019, 32 home runs, 115 RBIs, and he batted .311. Not bad at all. So all in all, Rafael Devers, he's looking like a pretty good buy. I would say so. Let's see. So I'm just going to scroll down here. Bam, number 34. Now, again, I know this just because I follow baseball, but again, just filter through the stats, and you will find certain patterns and maybe even certain players that you like. So Austin Meadows, he batted .291, 33 home runs and 89 RBIs. Not too shabby whatsoever. Sounds like a good, maybe not yet noticed by many player. And of course, he's 24 years old. But was it just a first year? Was it just a fluke? We can see here, first round, overall pick, number 9. So obviously the prospects thinks he's good, or pardon me, the scouts think he's good. Okay, well, we see last year he played 59 games with 2 teams, 51 hits, batted .287. Okay, well, how do you do this year? Again, .291. The RBIs are there and the home runs are there. So in my opinion, Austin Meadows, if you can buy his card for cheap, that's a really good buy right now. Alrighty, so now that we're done with the stats portion, we're going to jump right on into what I like to call MLB news. So all I did to find this, of course, this is, again, free on MajorLeagueBaseball.com, MLB.com. But all I did, I typed in on Google, I typed in 2020 MLB Rookie of the Year. And of course, that hasn't happened yet, so those keywords linked me to this article. This article is great. It's free. It comes out every year. It's called 30 Team, 30 Candidate for 2020 Rookie of the Year. So basically, they go over every team and they tell you who's likely going to be Major League Baseball Rookie of the Year. So we scroll down this. Okay, again, Nate Pearson, I know of him. He's their number 1 prospect in the Blue Jays organization and 10th overall in baseball. So if you didn't know who he was, as you can see, you can literally read in here. It's got a blurb about all these players, so you can literally learn about them. Okay, let's say I didn't know anything about him. I would learn that he had a .230 ERA and a .176 batting average against, with 119 strikeouts in only 101 2/3 inning, and that was in AAA. So again, I'm learning. Oh, and he's only 23. As I start to scroll down, there's videos, there's things like that. Okay, Casey Mize. Again, I know who he is. Look at that. No-hitter in his AA Erie debut. Okay, so he must be good. Oh, but he had a right shoulder injury. Oh, but he was the number 1 overall prospect. So you're starting to learn things here and there. Okay, so I see Luis Roberts. He's number 3. Look at that. He batted .328, 32 home runs, and 36 stolen bases. Okay. Personally, I know that Luis Roberts was signed to a mega contract, but again, if you didn't, this is the type of stuff that's going to help you. So Luis Robert, probably my personal pick in the American League to win Rookie of the Year, and then Gavin Lux in the National League. But all this stuff is just going to help you, and it's completely free. And look, sometimes you even got videos. Let's just watch Jesus Luzardo. My opinion, this guy's going to be a stud. I'm not going to say Cy Young or anything like that, but I mean, for a lefty to throw this kind of stuff, and look how he just hypes himself up after every strikeout. just a pure thing of beauty. So again, guys, MajorLeagueBaseball.com/news. You can find all this stuff for free. You know, Joe Adell, he's going to be another young up-and-coming prospect. Of course, anytime that you can add a strong bat in a lineup with Mike Trout, sounds like a lot of RBI opportunities. So again, guys, I highly suggest just scroll through here, find a name that you like, and just read, guys. I mean, you owe it to yourself. It's absolutely free. The third and final tool that I have right here is just going to be on Twitter. It's called MLB Pipeline. For those of you who don't know, MLB Pipeline, well, it says right here, they're the home of Major League Baseball's draft and prospect coverage. So again, they're going to be tweeting out basically the futures game and all the prospects that you need to be aware of for the upcoming season. So actually there is one right there, Carter Kieboom. And we can see here just 10 minutes ago that they tweeted out, actually this list is going to be great for you. So these are the top 10 Major League Baseball prospects based on everything in this article. So we can see here Wander Franco, Gavin Lux, Joe Adell, Luis Roberts. We got our good buddy Rutschman and Mackenzie Gore. So, and Jesus Luzardo at number 9 as well. So anyways, guys, basically, if you don't have Twitter already, get on it. Follow MLB Pipeline because they're constantly posting tons of great material on the next up-and-coming players to buy. Like I said before, we all wish that we could purchase a Mike Trout rookie card, but right now it's just probably for most of us too expensive. However, if we go back to 2010, and if we know who Mike Trout is, then we have a couple years to kind of get in there and buy his card. And maybe these methods won't work straight away, whereas the point that you have a couple years to know who's going to be good, but at least you'll know within the first year, maybe year and a half, as to which players are good buys. So again, guys, those are 3 different tools and 3 different methods that I personally use to help identify players to buy. And with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Until next time.